Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So today we're tackling a topic that, let's be honest, can feel kind of heavy. We're talking about life insurance, but not just any life insurance. We're looking at what happens when you've been diagnosed with cervical cancer.
Definitely a big one, and one we get asked about a lot at diversified insurance brokers.
Right. So we're lucky to have all this info from diversified insurance brokers. These guys, they really know their stuff when it comes to navigating this whole world. So let's dive in.
Sounds good.
First things first, you get that diagnosis, and I imagine a million thoughts run through your head. One of those might be, okay, what about my life insurance? And they even cover it anymore.
Yeah, totally understandable. It's one of the first things a lot of people think about. And the good news is, just because you've had cervical cancer doesn't mean you're automatically out of the running for life insurance.
Okay, that's reassuring. But from what I'm seeing here from Diversified, it's not quite as simple as, yep, you're covered, no worries.
Unfortunately, no, there are definitely some things insurers look at, and one of the biggest is the stage and grade of your cancer.
Right, because cervical cancer, it's not all the same, is it? We're talking different stages, different grades. What does that even mean?
Basically, the stage tells us how far the cancer has spread. So you've got stage 0, which is very early, the cancer's still localized. And then you've got stages 1, 2, 3, and 4, with each stage meaning the cancer's gotten a bit further.
Okay, and the grade, that tells us.
That tells us how aggressive the cancer cells are. Are they slow growing, or are they more likely to spread quickly?
So let me guess. If you're diagnosed of an early stage, say stage 0 or 1, and the grade is less aggressive, your chances of getting life insurance at a decent rate are much better.
Exactly. In fact, someone diagnosed at stage 0, they might qualify for standard rates, the same rates as someone who's never had cancer.
Wow. Okay, so early detection is key, not just for your health, but potentially for your insurance too. Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Now, what about time? Say you've gone through treatment and you're in remission. Does how long you've been in remission matter?
Big time. Time is a huge factor for insurers. Someone who finished treatment 5 years ago and has been cancer-free, they're in a much better position than someone who just finished chemo, say, 6 months ago.
Oh, I see. So the longer you're in remission, the less risky you appear to the insurance companies.
Exactly. They want to see that you've remained cancer-free. And that's another reason why keeping up with those follow-up appointments is so important. It's not just for your health. It can actually impact your insurability down the line.
It's all connected. I'm also seeing here that the type of treatment you had, whether you had surgery, chemo, radiation, that plays a role too, right?
Yeah, it does. The treatment can be a clue for the insurer about how serious the cancer was. Someone who needed a lot of chemo and radiation, well, that suggests the cancer was probably more aggressive.
And that makes them, in the insurer's eyes, a bit riskier.
Yeah, unfortunately it can.
So we've got the stage, the time since remission, the treatment. It's a lot to juggle. But how does all this actually translate into getting coverage? What are your options if you've had cervical cancer?
Well, there are three main paths to look at: fully underwritten, simplified issue, and guaranteed issue. Each one's got its pros and cons.
All right, let's break them down. First up, fully underwritten. What's the deal with that?
So, fully underwritten policies, they usually offer the best rates. But there's a catch. You have to go through a full medical exam, and they'll take a deep dive into your medical history, every detail.
Okay, makes sense. They're getting the full picture of your health so they can offer you the most accurate rate. But I can imagine that exam, after everything you've already been through, it might not be what everyone wants.
Totally get that. Some people find it a bit much, especially after going through cancer treatment. So there's another option: simplified issue policies.
Simplified issue. Tell me more.
This is like the middle ground: no medical exam, which is a relief for some people. But you'll still have to answer some health questions.
Such as?
Oh, things like, have you ever been diagnosed with cancer? Or have you had any treatment for cancer in the past 5 years? Pretty straightforward stuff.
So it's a compromise. Not as intense as a full medical exam, but you still have to disclose some information. And that brings us to guaranteed issue, right? This is the one that everyone wants to know about.
Right, because with guaranteed issue policies, you're approved no matter what. No medical exam, no health questions. Doesn't matter what your health history is, you're in.
Sounds amazing. A true safety net. But I'm sensing a but coming.
Well, there's always a trade-off. With guaranteed issue, you're usually paying higher premiums. And for the first couple years, the death benefit, the amount your loved ones get if you pass away, it might be limited.
So it's great that it's available, but it comes at a cost.
Exactly. It's all about weighing your options and figuring out what makes the most sense for you.
And that's why having someone in your corner who really understands this stuff is so crucial, right? That's where a broker like Diversified Insurance Brokers comes in.
Couldn't agree more. They know the different insurance companies inside and out. They know which companies are more lenient towards cancer survivors, which policies have better terms. They can really walk you through it all.
They're like your Sherpa through the insurance mountains. So for our listeners out there, if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't try to do this alone. Reach out to the experts.
Exactly. And remember, getting life insurance, it's not just about money, it's about peace of mind, knowing you've got things handled no matter what happens.
It's about that security, knowing you've taken care of your loved ones. And that can be really empowering, especially when you're going through something like cancer. Now, here's something for you all to chew on. We've talked about the financial side of things, but how might having life insurance actually impact your own emotional well-being? Something to think about. Until next time, keep diving.
Keep diving. 78